welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Generally Speaking. I'm your CEO of Renatus, Bob Snyder. Thrilled to spend some time with you as we're driving down the road. We're going to be talking about the E3 Summit today. The E3 Summit is not just another event. The E3 Summit is the preeminent event of the entire year. This event is designed to equip, engage, and educate individuals in a way that they've not experienced before in Renatus. In 3 days, man, we are bringing out the best of the best, and we've pulled out all the stops. I mean, we're going to have 30 plus instructors there. Individuals like Troy Dunn, Garrett Gunderson, Brian Sump, Jeff Armstrong, Dan Cragen, Patrick Munson. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. 3 powerful days of education on the subject of finance, reduction of debt, taxes, and real estate investing. Now listen, each and every one of us understand the importance of events. That's where the business goes from your head to your heart. You not only need to be there for your own personal benefit, you need to be there for your team's benefit. And you need to make sure that they're there as well, because we want to see a transformation taking place with each and every single one of our ICMs, our students, and your guests. Yes, I said guests. So many times in Renatus, we do events like this of an educational nature that are really targeted more towards our students. This one is targeted towards a broader view of what Renatus is all about. Why? Because a live event has the opportunity to transform and to convert individuals. We want as many guests in the room as we can possibly get there. Now, why do you want as many guests there? Personally, because at the last E3 event, we closed $800,000 in business at the end of the day with our offer. Now, not all $800,000 funded. We had, I think, a little over $700,000 in business that funded from the special offer and presentation that we made. Why were we so incredibly successful at closing that much business in a single day, or I should say a single weekend? It's because the business truly transitioned from the head to the heart. People were able to build and expand on their belief and conviction in what Renatus was all about and what Renatus could do for them. And the special offer created urgency, and it drove people to make a buying decision and get involved. You've got people on your teams who have not yet upgraded from Essentials. They know they need to do it because they need to realize all of the incredible benefits of our accelerated investor training packages. You've got guests who maybe they're new guests, but they need that exposure so that they can see what it's all about. Maybe you've got older guests that have just been sitting on the sidelines not making a decision to get involved because they just need that little lift in terms of belief, conviction, enthusiasm, and a special offer to drive urgency. Whatever it is, if you pack the house, there is a wonderful opportunity for you to go home receiving some amazing compensation from the sales that get closed this weekend. As an ICM, I'm speaking to every single one of you. You should leave no stone unturned. You should make sure that every guest that you have ever talked to has an invitation to come to this 3-day event. That every guest you're currently talking to has an invitation to come to this 3-day event. Any brand new people that you just enrolled are coming to the event. Any of your existing students and your existing ICMs are coming to the event, because this is a game changer in the way that we conduct business. I want to do $2 million in closed business at this 3-day event. Now you do the math on that. $2 million when 50% right off the top is coming back to the marketer. That means, we sell a $26,000 package. Actually, it's a little less than 50% on the direct sale. But right off the gate, I mean, think about the benefit. If we close $2 million, that means almost $1 million of that is coming right back to each and every one of you as ICMs when your guest decides to purchase. We want this to be a huge payday. I can envision individuals, coming in and having a $12,000 day, a $30,000 day, a $50,000 day. And I truly believe for some ICMs that build heavily for this event, they could have a $100,000 day. I'm talking to leaders where, that's all they're focused on is packing the house and driving people to the E3 Summit. It takes place October 23rd through the 25th in Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City at the Salt Lake Downtown Sheraton. We've switched up venues, but we're still going to have the same gorgeous, awesome stage and lighting and professionalism at the event. You don't want to miss it. You want to get everybody there. The cost is $197. That means the guests pay $197. The students pay $197. You would pay $197 as long as you get in on the early bird pricing, which expires, after August 2025. So get your tickets, do it now. Now there's also VIP seating. The $500 gets individuals up front. Those first few rows are coveted, and that's where our VIP seating is. It's also a great opportunity for VIP guests to network with each of our instructors and other dignitaries that are going to be present, because we're going to host a special luncheon each of the 3 days. VIPs get to come to lunch with each of the instructors and all of the other VIPs. They get to network with those individuals. We're going to have some special Q&A and some special training from our instructors during that lunch. It's a way to double down, expand your network so you can expand your net worth and improve upon your business. So many other reasons. We're going to be talking about all of the different reasons why individuals should be building for events, especially the E3 Summit, in a series we're crafting here on Generally Speaking, and then we're going to be kicking these out to you with special links through our our Framly thread. Anyway, look forward to talking to you in the future. Get registered now. It's in your back office, it's in the calendar, don't delay, and you also have special links back there that you can send to your guests so that they can get registered and protected to you. Let's get it done, let's get it done now. Build for the E3 Summit. That is October 23rd through the 25th at the downtown Sheraton in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'll see you there.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Money Monday. GM to new people, GM, and returning folks. Awesome. All right, now we're all hooked up. Okay, very important video. You guys should be using that in all the places. I'm going to drop the link to the video right here. Send that out. Bam. There we go. Okay, looking good. All right, folks, we got 86 days to the E3. 86 days. There we go. Yeah, are you gonna make the best of it? Or are you going to be surprised by how fast it comes? It's up to you. Now, here's one thing we do know, is that whatever you think about, you bring about. So are you thinking about building a business or just attending an event? There we go. Are you thinking about how many people you're going to have there or just what you're going to get from it? What we think about, we bring about. Constantly reminded of that. So if you haven't clearly written out an intention for this event, then it's vague, it's fuzzy, and fuzzy targets are never hit. So you can either put it as a dollar amount earned, kind of like how Mr. Snyder ended the video. How much money do you want to earn? Or how many new students you want to have, how many butts and seats. They're all going to translate to progress and growth in your business. But if you just think, it'd be nice to have some guests there, you won't have guests there. You got to be intentional and precise, exact. Fuzzy targets are not hit. So I put it out there for those of you who've been coming around for a while. You know, we've been talking about our team having 500 people there. And, you know, what does that translate for you? There's 750 seats. So we're going to take 500, maybe more, depending on how Anthony Mallet does everything. All hinges on him. No, I'm just kidding. Um, there we go. Love it. But yeah, uh, this is going to be awesome. Think about this. You sit in the back of the room. I'm telling you, you can have one of two feelings when you go to this event. You can have what's called a jacuzzi moment or a pivotal moment. A jacuzzi moment is where you're at the event, you're in your seat, the show is going on, you're taking notes, good ideas are coming your way, and you feel good in the moment. And then the event's over, and you go home. You get out of the jacuzzi, you dry off, and everything's back to the same. Some people, that's all it's going to be for them. For people that are working with intention and on purpose, they're going to have a pivotal moment. Something's going to happen where when the event is over, they are not the same. They're not going to go back to the old ways, to the old language, to the old neglect, to the old laziness, to the old poor mindset and low energy, low activity. Not anymore. There'll be some people who you'll go on the lunch break and you'll be talking to some ICMs and they'll say, yep, I got 14 guests here. I got 26 guests here. I got 47 guests here. Mitch and Maley last E3 had 73 people at the event under them. How many people do you want to have? And they were just barely getting started. Now, if you're in the first flip challenge and you're doing your promotion and you're telling everybody about it, you have a lot of people that want to come with you. You just need to give them the opportunity and make those invitations. So if you're, yeah, you're going to have two feelings towards the end of the event, and you're going to watch people start to sign up, and you're going to think back to those ICMs that have the guests. And you're going to watch those people signing up. You know, cool, that ICM just made 10 grand. That ICM just made 20 grand. That one just made 30 grand. And you'll be sitting there going, well, at least I had a good time. No, don't do that. Be a person of action, be a person of intention and of making a difference. There are plenty of people out there that want what we have. They want a community, they want good education, they want a proper plan so they can get out of the mess that they're in. And if you build it right, there'll be some people who are making 50, 100, 200,000. Right? 200,000 is what, 15 people signed up? We could have 15 people sign up. You can have 200,000 in a weekend. It's up to you, though. Do the work now. Let everybody know what you're up to. And at the very least, you're going to get a cheerleader. You're going to get someone that says, well, I don't want to go, but I hope it's a success for you. And you'll get some cheerleaders. You'll get some people wishing you well. And then you never know what that could turn into. So let's go over the quote of the day. You can control two things: your work ethic and your attitude about anything. I like it. Ali Krieger. Krieger. You can control two things: your work ethic and your attitude about anything. So I would recommend your work ethic. We could label it as massive action, and your attitude, going back to our call last week and the week before, attitude of responsibility. I'm responsible for everything. That'll translate huge when we get to the E3, which I'm reminded of an occurrence at one of the nationals. I think it was 2015. I remember I just decided to work at the conference, as if I was the staff, as if it was my conference. And I remember going to Matt Snyder and Jay Stark and being like, hey, I see you guys got walkie-talkies. I'm here to help. I need a walkie-talkie. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm here to help. I think I had maybe 30 guests or unqualified ICMs, brand new people in that event. And I was like, yeah, I want it to go great. So I ended up running around, taking care of, loose ends, so to speak. But I acted and I owned that event. And then the following year, I made like $500,000 in marketing. So anyway, are you going to show up as a passenger or a driver? Make a declaration, write it down, be serious. Fuzzy targets aren't hit. How many people are you going to have there? You got 87 days until it starts. 87 days. Also, I highly recommend you get the VIP ticket. It'd be great to get the any ticket. Obviously, 197. It's a super deal because we should be charging $1,000. I think it's a 997 event, but we're going to charge 197 because Mr. Snyder's generous and wants to make it easy for everybody, and he doesn't want to price it in such a way that it makes it unreachable for everybody. So come on, 197 is so doable. Okay, check out Scott and Sue's Renatus review, the latest and greatest. And congrats to the top 10. It looks like we will be getting an update on that probably tomorrow. The price after the early bird is $247. So 197 to 247. So save yourself $50. Another way of thinking about it, it's a 25% price increase. So lock in your discount now. Awesome. Okay. One other thing that's a big opportunity for a lot of you is the Excel that's happening this Saturday with Jason Andrus and Mitch and Maylee Nelson. As a reminder, I'll get a few people who say, hey, where is it on the calendar? It's not on the calendar. You guys need to hit the clear filter button sometimes. Okay, because if by default, it's just going to do online only and whatever events are in the state that corresponds to your profile. Okay, so as soon as I hit clear filter, a bunch more shows up. So you'll find it there. So here we are. Got a bunch of stuff tonight. Workshops. There's what's it called? Building Her Empire tonight. Cash flow game night with the Idaho team. Tuesday is a busy day. Do More Deals workshop with Mr. Bill Winkler. Our special guest for today is going to come out here in just a minute and share some ideas. Then we got the study groups, wholesaling workshops. But what I wanted to make sure everyone is pointing towards, and Friday night game night in Tooele. But this is a perfect opportunity to also build into this. The first flip challenge. Now, if you're coming as a student, please use this. If you're a registering guest, please use the top one. And if you want to meet some top-notch investors, have a great class, get your questions answered, do some wonderful networking. And then, like I said, for those of you who actually put guests in seats and you show them the challenge, they're going to get involved in education so they could do the challenge. Remember, one deal could change the course of your life. Positive and negative, right? Positive and negative. There are some crazy stories out there about people who are like, no, I'm good. I don't need the training. I'm good. I'm good. I got $100,000. I'll just go do my own deal. What do I need training for? I got money. And then they lose it all. And then some. And now they're in debt. So not only did they lose their 100, but now they're in debt and they're still not educated. So do people a favor and get them in the program. Cool. Cool. All right. One, if Gilda, if you're available for a quick update on how your challenge, your first door challenge group is going. Otherwise we can come back to you later and we can check in with Mr. Bill here. Bill Winkler. Got some powerful bills
Oh,
in it.
yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Michael. Good
Yeah.
morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. So, yeah, so far, we finished our 2 weeks, and so now we're digging into the strategy now. So we picked, which one, because again, we're doing two. We're doing the um, STR and also wholesaling. And it was perfect too, because yesterday, Chris Wilson was here and he was talking about wholesaling. And he said it's a perfect, time to do it with the market, what it's doing in the market and stuff. So yeah. So we, basically just, getting, you know, it was a mindset in the beginning, basically the first 2 weeks, and basically trying to get you to decide, what kind of strategy, what kind of investor are you, your investor ID. But again, there's only two choices because those are the two that we're running at this point. So now we're starting digging into the classes and doing exactly what the strategy is supposed to you're supposed to do.
Okay. So things are going
Hmm.
well.
Yeah. So far it's great. I think there's like trying to think if there's like about 70 something around that are doing the the 90-day challenge, and then the incubator, which is the essential. So we're like about you know about less than 40 around that. So
Okay. Well, I expect 100
mhm,
deals out of the challenge. So get to work.
yeah. So that's it. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks for the update and thanks
Hmm.
for your help and keeping the ship pointed in the right direction. Really appreciate you, Gilda.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, folks. Well, let's do this. What I'd like to do now is introduce you to Mr. Bill Winkler. He's part of the East Coast team. He has a unique story about how he found Renatus, what he was doing, and what in his life made him even consider Renatus. And I'd like to have him share a little bit about what's happened since and why he's decided to be an event host, why he helps on the marketing side and not just doing the real estate. So, um, in addition to wanting to make a difference for other people, he is using the Renatus wealth cycle. He's doing the real estate, he's doing the marketing, he's taking the profits, putting that back into real estate, which then allows him to then talk more about the marketing, which helps new students come on board, and he keeps that cycle going. So we're really excited to have him here. Let's give a big warm welcome to Mr. Bill Winkler, GM.
Hi, everybody.
Good
Thank you for
morning.
that very warm welcome. I appreciate you so much for that. Michael and I have been talking since our last national about a bunch of different stuff, and um, it's a heartfelt conversation. It really is because you're constantly in discovery and what's hot, what's not, and it changes so fast. It really does. But I got started in Renatus in 2012. I had the 2010 tobacco technology as well as real estate was doing a major metamorphosis at the time, and I actually went on sabbatical. I shut down. I couldn't handle it. So one day I met this guy because I had been in search of Scott, and I've been researching heavy on what I was going to do next. And real estate's always been on my bucket list. And I had to make a decision. Do I rebuild my technology company or just go new? Well, go new came up, and talking to Scott and researching all these other people, rich dad, poor dad, fortune builders, a gazillion of them. We've all been through that, right? And He said, if I could show you how to do a no money down deal right now, I said, yeah. Would you get in? I says to myself quietly, didn't say a word. Something's telling me just listen. Because I had been in deep dive research to find a solution. I didn't have one. So he showed me how to do a no money down deal. He says, you got 600 bucks? I says, no. I was a mess. And I had a credit card. And he says, well, here's what you do. You take the 600, put it on there, buy your essentials course, and go ahead, sell a couple, packages, whatnot, and take it from there. Can you do that? Something told me wild stories. I says, you know what? I'm going to listen to this guy. Something just told me to listen. I did. 2 months later, I had a bunch of essentials packages sold, paid myself back, made a paycheck, and I've been here ever since because the value was so real. And since then, I'm a full boat, EXP, all the way down the line. I had to discover I didn't know a lot of things. I had to discover I just didn't know. One of the biggest things for me, being an experienced business person, was that I had no clue about money. That's a whole new world. And I paid attention to it. I did my essentials 3 times. I knew I had to know it cold. And since then, I just try and do the best I can. At one point I was 99% on my education. Today I'm about 80 because I can't keep up. The program is all that. It really is. So today, I have identified my investor ID because when I first started, I wanted to do it all. What a mistake. Think about that. So I said, well, I'm doing short-term rental right now. I see that avenue. I like storage a lot. I love commercial, but how much can you do while you're building your team? Well, John Dashauer was a very big influence in my life, and he was uh, very open to a few conversations. They were very short, very brief, but the same with Bob Tierney is when I met him some years ago. So since then, I acquired a bunch of doors, went through an economic change, sold a couple, bought a couple, and I figured out, wow, I really need to just do one or two things. Then Bill Omi comes along, and I was glued to his presentation. It was outrageously perfect in theory, strategy, and obtainability. That was so critical. So I left New Jersey. I'm in South Carolina. I got it all of it here today. So I'm so grateful to the community. I'm grateful to Michael. And on Tuesday nights, we do two things that are noteworthy. We do the Do More Deals show in an effort to help people get clarity on what they're doing. We'll actually sit down and crunch a deal for you, bring one to the table. All good. For those that are more serious and a little more developed, we do Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And we have a very serious effort for fundraising as a small team. We are making progress with hedge funds and have developed a small handful of truly credible private money lenders. This is an ongoing thing. It's every week. We will all learn the importance of doing that over time. So depending on your objectives and goals. But meanwhile,
You mentioned a debacle that drove you to taking a look at this back in 2012. Could you talk a little bit about that, the pickle you got yourself in? Because part of what we're trying to do here is help others. Like you, a lot of people went through that mess, but then some people haven't pulled themselves out of it, and you have. So I want to use your story to find 10, 20 more Bill Winklers out there and keep growing our team. So how did you get yourself into the mess, and what was the mess?
Um, to discover the mess or filter it was my first big challenge. I was doing large numbers in technology. I went from pretty big zeros to nothing in about 6 months. That's how fast the change was. And that wasn't just me, it was all my friends too. Business people, associates, things. I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. I had no clue. So I had to make a decision. What am I going to do now? I was 50 years old at the time, right? I says, midlife crisis. Oh my goodness. Now what? Am I going to have to go get another degree? I have three. Do I need a fourth one? Please, no. I wanted to use what I had. I was a builder in my 20s, very successful in that arena. Life happens. I got divorced. Oh well. Recover from that. Then off into technology, did real well. Now what? I gotta have to reinvent myself. Well, I didn't like it. I fought it for a long time. But I knew that if I'm going to put my heart, soul, and everything into anything, it was going to be real estate. I had no clue how I was going to get there. I had no clue what the results were going to be. I had no clue, no money, and I'm seriously short on knowledge. Renatus was the answer all the way. It even taught me how to flip a house on a credit card. Out of a dare, I did it. I made some money. I didn't make what I should have, but I made some money. And because of that understanding, I was allowed to grow because we have to learn how to find them. How do you do that? I was a bird dog for a few years. Didn't go anywhere with that. Didn't go anywhere with that at all. Although, unknowingly, I was building a business, building connections, building relationships, building everything I needed to know, right, about getting going. Going to every network function under the sun, learning, making contacts. Many of those contacts I still have today, right? And so on. One day, it all came together. I went with a friend of mine. He's a broker. Says, Bill, you got to go take a look at this house, this building. I says, come on, Kevin. Kevin's a great guy, right? I said, I really don't have time right now. She says, Bill, go look. That's all he could tell me because he was a broker, right? He is a broker. I went and I looked at this. He gave me the numbers and I says, no way. This guy is going to do seller financing. I'm going to buy this thing. And he wanted like 450. I says, no way. This place is not going to support 450. I came in at 350 and said, listen, here it is. Can we work this out? Well, we did. Seller financing, 4%, 50K down, and the actual note was 275 when we closed it. I made $350,000. But here's the twist. If I didn't have Renatus, I wouldn't know how to get that done because I didn't have a dime to walk into that deal. Looked over my shoulder one day to a friend of mine, contractor, and I said, you know what? It would be a shame to pass this one up. He says, what you got? I showed him. He says, how much you need? I said, 50. He says, here's a check. Done. That one went 5 years, and we recently sold it because the economic times did such a reversal. We've been in a lot of unrest the last couple of years. Taxes doubling, insurance doubling, tripling in some areas, utility expenses rising. In South Carolina, we were notified that they're going to have at least a 50% increase in utilities. Now, how do how are your numbers going to stay good? You stay current with the market. Hence, I decided to do give back and create do more deals. I've been doing that for about 6 years now. I love doing it. But to take it a step further, you really have to have your team to make it work.
So how did you find your first several students? Like, did you put online ads? Did you call people? Like, how did you find your first Renatus students and make your education money back?
Great question. Um, Flip Funnel with Steve Larkins, right? Was inspiring. And at the time we were doing do more deals and I just warming up. We had built a nice following. And part of that was if you're promoting and building attraction marketing, then they will come to you. And they did. We had no trouble filling up our Helios account with fresh leads every week because we would promote according to provided materials, and a small team would do that. We're on YouTube, we're on everything under the sun, and then putting that all together is a constant outreach. And then using the smart system before it changed um, was a blessing because we didn't have any trouble finding the leads. They were abundant. So if you built a click funnel type inbound marketing, I did. I automated it to such a point where any one of the members at the time, Alvin Howard, a few others, Francis Lira, um, and a few of the Sunday guys from New York were all chimed in on that, and they do their Sunday show, juice show. So I proved to them, hey, if you want 500 leads a week, which is way too much to manage, here it is. Click. That grew quite a bit, but I couldn't manage it. It was too big. I didn't have a team to do that. So we scaled it down a little bit, and I still get leads from that marketing campaign today. 3 or 4 years after the fact, I shut it off. It's still working. I went from 0 contacts in a new profile on LinkedIn to 4 or 5,000 almost overnight. Can you keep up with that? That's a challenge and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So I quickly learned, hey, let's get more people involved with this. So much is being left on the table. And I continue to share. So marketing is the best way. Facebook is incredible if you do the Facebook way. If you go over the medias and mass promote, it's very effective. But how much time can one person have? Again, it all comes back to team. It really does. But the promotion, the reputation, the websites, the presentation of what you're offering the community becomes profound. And it stays with you. So we're still doing it. Not as much as I used to, but we're still doing it. Anybody
What's your
can set that up.
what's your goal or your vision for you and your team with this new E3 summit coming up in 86 days?
I'm sorry, ask again.
What's your goal for the E3 summit?
Current goal, I have just readjusted that. I'm looking at 10, maybe 20 little houses. Planted myself very nicely in the Mullins, North Myrtle Beach vicinity in South Carolina through a lot of research. I have to give Ed Coach a big plus over that, a good shout. He was very influential for me, and we would talk frequently about a lot of neat stuff. So on a dare, I did it. But the dare turned out to be a reality more than I could ever imagine because I found a neighborhood that's got a growth to it that's going to last for a long time. I kind of tripped over it, but I knew enough to say, wow, this is real. So that's where I am today. I would like to see about 10 houses. I'm interested in storage. Storage is just one of those things that not so hard to get, but finding it and setting up, the usual routine. And then I had visions of sticking with short-term rentals a little bit with a specific strategy. Um, and that could be a topic for hours on the changes that are taking place in that industry right now. Because it used to be arbitrage, used to be no money down, it used to be this, used to be that. Well, I gotta tell you, Renatus is awesome, but the real school is in the street when you get your first couple up and running. So we're rethinking that a little bit right now. It's still a very good thing, but having the right strategy is what matters. So that's where we're at now. So I'm constantly on the hunt, constantly building and looking for networks where we could take two, three, four, five little houses, 50 to 100K, Bellamy style. And we're really close to doing two or three at a time right now. Um, that's in play. Offers are going out. And for me to focus on two or three, maybe three things as an investor ID, that has been a challenge because I just love it all. And I know I can't do it all. So I have to be smarter than that and just say, this is where we're going. Anything else is possible.
Yeah, that's a good point. Focus will, cut through the fog. But yeah, if you keep chasing what's interesting because you heard it at a networking event, you're not going to get very far spinning plates. So, okay, so what was a habit you had to change back when you first got started that, because I mean, if you go from having several successful businesses down to zero and you got to rebuild, you got to have a new habit. You got to have some new perspective. So what's something you can offer to the new people here who maybe are just having a refresh in their life and they just got started with Renatus? What mindset or habit, or did you have like a mantra or a daily routine, something that you could point to that said that was a big influence in getting me going at the beginning?
I had a big lesson learned on that one because I've been self-employed most of my life. And I'm going to be painfully open. When I got started, I was driving Uber. It was horrible. I had a place to live, my bills were getting paid, but my future got turned upside down. So I quickly learned that you need to keep your day job, have a strategy and the focus on where you want to be. Have your goal board all set up, right? Follow it. If you don't do a goal board, you're not going to get there because it's in your head. If you can't get it out of your head and in front of you, it's not going to happen. I put my goal board. I still have one. Two of them, actually. One on my left, one on my right. I got my short term over here. I look at it every morning. I got my 10-year plan up on the wall, and I constantly update it. So I don't have to think about where I'm going. And then I have my super short term right in a little journal every day. And that helps. Don't give up the day job. Getting your first deal is a monumental thing. It's a game changer because all of a sudden, wow, this stuff works. Next. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh my God, now I got 10. I'm going to sell one. Hey, guess what? They don't have that in the class. You got to learn how to process them out in a whole different way, but you have enough experience to do that. That's progression. That's where that is. I hope I answered that okay. Sometimes I
Yeah,
get a little too gabby.
no, that's good. I mean, that's what we've been talking about it, constantly. If you don't have a goal board or a vision board, you're making a mistake. You got to have something that visually pulls you, that's constantly reminding you every day. But I mean, that's why I put my whiteboard in here. So every time I walk into my office, that's the thing I'm seeing. And then, yeah, the vision board for us is in the living room so the kids can see it too. The kids know why we're doing what we're doing. And when you're making your vision board, folks, don't have it be only money. You got to have health, you got to have relationships, you got to have your own personal growth and transformation, and then money and adventure and family. So you got to have a well-rounded vision board. If it's just piles of money and cars and jets, it's one dimensional. You want to have multi-dimension.
I
So
couldn't.
tell us now, Bill, what are you looking forward to the next 12 months? I know you said you were working on some tiny houses, but as far as um, the market as a whole, like when you're seeing different announcements from the White House or from different agencies and just kind of putting a bigger picture together, what are you excited about over the next 12 months?
For the next 12 months, um, I see the marketplace as being very unique. We should have had a correction in our economy, but we have not. Trump came into office again. Like him, hate him, doesn't matter. You got to give him credit. Seniors do not pay property taxes anymore. Guess what that's going to do, to be told? There's going to be an influx of new opportunity. I do take and pay a considerable amount of attention to REO foreclosures, and I'm getting much closer to our very own Renatus iOS shopping and doing off-market stuff. Well, that little bit I just said is a full-time job, just staying with that. So being focused on a couple of things makes the rest of it easy. I always have a list of possible deals, and I'm always looking to plug them in, and I'm always looking to get, one or two to the finish line, the closing, always. Sometimes you just get a little too busy, and sometimes you don't. If you have short-term rentals and you're looking to buy, hold, fix, do affordable housing, VA programs, other short-term rentals does not mix with that strategy. It's different. That's why it's so important just to stay focused on that. So the forecast for near, and I can only speak for my neighborhood, continue what I'm doing. Opportunities are abundant. Raise capital, build relationships. We've been approached by a couple of hedge funds that they are considering us joining them as far as the street in the feet in the street kind of thing approach, where we could bring deals in, everybody wins. So it's the relationship. Money's out there. You just got to put yourself out there. It'll come.
So how long, and actually, I don't know the answer to this question. How long from when you got started to making your first referral sale to a new Renata student?
Oh, geez. I didn't I didn't do a real deal for about the first 6 years I was in Renatus because I had a different viewpoint. I didn't think that just because I have an essentials class that I'm qualified to go do a deal. I was really qualified in many ways, but confronting the financial aspect, it took me about 6 years to actually roll my first deal. And I was very prepared at that time.
Okay, awesome. So that's the thing about having a long-term vision, right? But my question is on the student side, like your first recruit. How long did that take?
Um, Initially, 2 weeks.
So you got started with
I had
Renatus.
five
You
or
went
six,
out.
yeah, 5 or 6 sales on the first 2 weeks, and a couple of them I still talk to, and it was a never-ending thing, never ending. Um,
Awesome.
I'm a little stuck on words on that because at the end of the day, Renatus rocks. No question about it.
Yeah. Yeah. 99% customer satisfaction rate over, tens of thousands of students. We're doing something right. So, folks, when you go out there and you start telling people about the program, be quick to spread the word. How would it be to have 5 or 6 new students in 2 weeks like Bill? That's exciting stuff, man. So, congrats to you. Thanks for coming out here this morning and sharing. We got to wrap this call up. But what I got from this call here is vision is a major key to your better future. Because we're going to find people similar to yourself that had a major life turnaround. And if they got a vision, they can pull themselves out of it. And then it also seems like you're good at just taking just a little bit of instruction. Like Scott said, go out there and just start talking to people. And here you are 2 weeks later. You made all your education money back. And so now you've completely moved markets. You went from Jersey to the Carolinas. You changed your strategy up a little bit. And I can see a lot of excitement in your voice and in your response to what you're doing. And I know a lot of other people that you're helping that aren't even on your team in Renatus, but you're still putting time and energy and effort into them. So I appreciate that ethos that you've carried on throughout the community, and you're not just being siloed, but you're actually really helping the community in a broad sense. So appreciate you being here. Do you want to have any last words or advice to our new students who joined us today?
Well, Michael, thank you so much. It was warmly shared with you and an honor to share with the community, and it's part of my give back. My only real thing that would make a tremendous amount of sense: never say die, never give up, and just keep moving forward one day at a time, because all of a sudden something's just going to click, and it always will. Focus, stay focused, do what you got to do, get there.
Awesome. Well said. Well said. All right, folks, go spread the word, get your E3 ticket, and we will see you tomorrow for Takeoff Tuesday. Appreciate y'all. See you soon. Bye for now.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank
Bye
you,
for
Michael.
now.
Thank you, Bill.